information. It is not being called the eclipse of the century for nothing. Today's eclipse will be the first total solar eclipse visible to the U.S. mainland, and that's since 1979. That's why you understand why it is so special.
Right, and certainly so much anticipation ahead of this. And joining us now to talk more about it is Professor Cullen Nicholson from Triton College. And you've been with us all morning. I think Anita and I could probably become professors ourselves with all that we've learned,
yes,
right? And you mentioned something earlier today about how each eclipse is so very unique. Can you talk a little more about that?
Yeah, the eclipse cycle runs every 18 years, 11 1/3 days. And you have the same type of eclipse that you had on a particular given day, again, after that cycle period is over. But the location of that eclipse changes because the actual alignment is not precise each time. It's just approximate. So where the actual umbral shadow will pass, producing the total solar eclipse, will vary from year to year, location to location. And that's why it can take a long time for you to get the exact same kind of eclipse like the Great American eclipse we're experiencing this year. It took a number of years of the eclipse cycle repeating to come back to it. So the 79 eclipse, for example, was not completely across the United States. It just kind of sideswiped us a little bit. And the upcoming one in 2024 is going to do a similar thing. The eastern states will have it very strongly, while the western states will have at best only a partial.
But do other parts of the world see this eclipse from time to time, like say Asia or?
They have their own eclipse cycle, and they'll have it in different years. You can have them anywhere in the world, even as far south as Antarctica. I know they had a tour of that a number of years ago. It was kind of funny. But one of the things that's associated with that is that when one part of the world has an eclipse, it's not visible over the entire planet. It's only with where the actual moon shadow is falling at. And so it's a kind of limited affair in each year. And this just happens to be our lucky year for it coming right across us. And in other years, it will hit other countries and will have differing amounts of intensity. Sometimes it's even out over the ocean.
Wow.
I know, it's so cool, right? And then if there are going to be some other planets that are visible as well, right? If you had maybe the special equipment to see it because of that shadow that's going to be cast.
Yeah, when you have any kind of eclipse approach totality, or most importantly, if it does actually make it to totality, you have a loss of ambient light in the air. And this allows the starlight that would normally be obscured to our eyes by our daylight to start to come through. Now, many of the stars will still not be visible because there'll still be enough ambient light around to prevent that. But brighter objects like planets could become visible. So if you know where the planet is and you have a telescope with a good amount of light collecting power, that's the key thing there. You want to make sure you have reasonable light gathering power. Make sure the telescope is not aimed anywhere near where the sun's going to be, but line up with where your planet is. And you might be able to bring some of the light from that planet in through the telescope and make a visual image.
And we were talking about the visionware, the items that you can use in your kitchen, and we're going to learn more about that. But you were saying that there are some real documented cases where people did this. They looked at the sun and they were sorry for it later.
Yes, it's very important to make sure you don't spend any time looking at the sun. I mean, most of the time we reflexively don't do it because the glare is too blinding to us. And the worst part about it is as the damage is being done, it doesn't actually cause any direct pain immediately. You notice the damage later on. So it's imperative to be cautious on your part when you're trying to actually view the eclipse today, because otherwise it can lead to some serious issues. We actually have had documented cases of people, even just in a single town, many people coming in who improperly viewed the eclipse and it harmed them.
Yeah, I was reading an article about a guy. The last one was in '79, right?
Yeah.
And he said that he was 16 years old at the time, and he was just looking at it for seconds, he said, and he has like dead spots on his eyes because of it now. I mean, and again, just looking at it for seconds. So something to really take note of, right? All right, thank you so much, Professor. I know you're going to be with us the rest of the morning, so Anita and I are going to generate some other good questions for you. We'll try to stump you next time around, okay?
Yeah, he's got an answer
We'll
for
see
all
what you
of
can
it.
do.
He does, I know.